We're back. Two brothers. That's right. I said two brothers in a shot of milk. Chris had something to do because he has family obligations,
Family hemorrhoids, tomato.
whatever you want to call it. It's always a pain in your butt. But we are back live in your face. We got Lawrence St. Victor right over there. We got
Boom.
Jack Walker Pearson right over here. And for today, the glorious
Oh boy.
Oh God.
Rich, Rich, the critical one, right at you. And we about to give you a banger. We are talking. What are we talking? We're talking retro.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Event Horizon.
Event Horizon. I mean, we don't have much going on, and we don't want to go to the movies. So Event Horizon it is, right? Yeah, we're gonna be talking about Event Horizons, a film that came out in 1997. And you know what, gentlemen, what's going on with y'all? What y'all been doing this week? What y'all been reading, watching, playing,
I'll tell
building?
you.
What you got?
I'm not like you guys building stuff, but I will say that I watched an episode of The Simpsons for the first time in maybe 25 years.
Okay.
Because on Disney Plus they showed an image of the Halloween special, and it was Death Note. They did Death
Oh,
Note.
Oh yeah,
And
they did it. Yeah.
but it looked like anime. They
Hmm.
redrew them anime style. And it was a legitimate Death Note episode or story in the episode. And it was pretty amazing because if you didn't watch Death Note, it really is probably a little confusing. So that was really made for like anime heads. Like if you never saw Death Note before, you understand it, but it don't hit. So that was pretty freaking cool.
who
Okay.
finds the notebook?
Lisa.
Of course.
Yeah.
Lisa finds the notebook. And then one caveat is she can't make people die the same way twice. So she's just coming up with multiple weird ways. And then Bart is L.
Right.
And in the end, Lisa writes the Shimigami's name in the notebook
No.
and kills him. But then she turns into a Shimigami at the end.
Mm.
Oh, interesting.
Okay.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
What else? Caught up on Gen V. I'm
Mm.
loving Gen V, guys. Gen V hits, and it has way more depth than the boys. When I was watching a video, somebody said like Gen V, the way the boys is like making fun of the Justice League and turning it on its head. Gen V is dealing with like every teen issue. You got the
Right.
girl who makes herself vomit. You got the girl who's a cutter. You got one girl who's one girl who can become a guy who's non-binary. You got uh like every teen angst issue in any CW universe for them is part of their power set.
You just mentioned 3 girls. What about some of the guy problems?
Yeah. Men don't
That's
have
crazy,
problems,
right? He don't.
you know?
The one guy controls metal. But I would say no, his problem is his powers are like his dad. So he's dealing with that father-son teen angst thing. And the other guy, I'm self-deleted. So you got that kind of like story arc that shows up in a lot
Yeah.
of teen dramas. Yeah.
And the other guy's also a girl, so
Yeah, that counted too. Non-binary, Jack.
Okay.
So it's actually really good, and it goes hard. What else is there?
what else? What you got?
I'm caught up on Zom 100, and now I understood
Okay.
what you said in our group text. We have a group text for those watching and listening, and
Yeah.
Rich said you said the alternate version,
The
alternate.
evil virgins have entered the chat.
And I'm like, what are you talking about? But yes, we get to see Zom 100 is basically the world turns to zombies, and one guy is like, thank God I don't have to go to work anymore. I can live my life.
Yeah.
Well, now we're meeting another guy that's like, thank God I don't have to go to work anymore. I can just cause chaos.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's good. It's good. And
You
one
like it?
last thing,
What was that?
and this would have been for Chris, but I picked up a Funko Pop. It's for you and Chris. I
Okay,
got
what
me
you
a
got?
Funko Pop. And I picked me up this bad boy.
Oh, all right.
Oh,
And it's
Yeah.
Batman 89, Rich, the one with Michael Keaton.
Yeah. Okay.
And as
It's
you can see,
Tim Burton.
it's the timber. It's that image of when Joker falls off the top at the end, and his glasses are up. Batman has blood on him from when he crashed his Batwing, and Joker has his glasses on. You'd never hit a guy with glasses, would you?
Yeah.
It's that scene before Joker falls to his death.
All
Pretty
right.
freaking dope.
Nice.
Pretty dope.
Nice.
That's my week.
What else? What you got for us, Jack? I know Jack is doing something spectacular out here.
Nah, I've been working a lot, building 3 projects. One's some reality show that's going to shoot in Atlanta. One is Megan Thee Stallion music video.
Oh, all right.
Kings. I don't know. There's like 3 or 4 projects we just built this week. So it's been a heavy build week for me. And I watched obviously Loki, which I'm digging that. Did I play any video games this week? No. I haven't even played the phone game.
Oh, busy.
It's been busy.
It's been a very busy week.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, me? Thanks for
asking.
See,
it doesn't feel good, does it, Rich? You don't feel good when no one asks you how you doing.
But anyway, I've just been working as well. Gaming. What have I been watching besides Event Horizon? I did Zom 100, which I told y'all to. I told you about the evil guys.
Starfield? No Starfield.
I played some Starfield. I had to restart my character.
Right.
And I had to start another character. I started my my independent boss babe, pirate queen. You know, because
your independent boss babe.
Because we're fighting against the patriarchy over here. Yeah, because my first character, I ran into a glitch where whenever I talk to people, especially vendors, the game would freeze, but not freeze where like I think I might have said this last show, but not freeze where like everything like it actually freezes up. I stop moving. I can look around, but I can't do anything else, and everyone else is walking around me, and that's it. And so I was stuck like that for like 5 minutes.
You can't do
for
nothing
now
with that character
until an update comes up for it. Then yeah,
that's why they call it the Skyrim of space.
Yeah, it's disappointing. I mean, other than I try to look past all the bad stuff, but sometimes it's just But anyway, when they work everything out, it's like Cyberpunk. Cyberpunk also had the same issues. A lot of people had bugs with that, but once they worked out the bugs and put the patches out, it is great. So we'll see what happens with that. What's the matter? You don't like Cyberpunk?
Me?
Yeah, you.
I'm just agreeing with you.
Oh, were you? Oh, it sounded very judgy.
No, I'm judgy. No, I'm judgy because they playing our games that are broken.
Oh, that's true. Yes, I mean that seems to be the model for everything.
Well, that seems to be the only way they know how to actually get them to work is to throw them out and see what is working, what is not working.
They want to get they want to get their Christmas bonuses. They want to get them games in rotation.
Well, I wonder if there's something unquantifiable as far as what happens when it's on a global online. Like it needs something else. I don't know. Or you got so many more people looking at the content, you quickly find out what's not working with it.
I think that they have sales quotas, and certain quarters they need to make a certain amount of money. So they're trying to get this game out, so they make a certain amount of money in this quarter.
But there are games that have been on hold for like 10 years.
Exactly. So when you got a game that's ready to go, or sort of ready to go,
put it out there.
I mean, I don't know.
One game that came out that didn't seem to have any problems was Baldur's Gate 3, and I have not played that yet.
What?
Baldur's Gate 3.
Baldur's Gate 3.
Yeah, I've heard that. I've heard great things about it, and I haven't heard any issues with it at all.
I mean, the trailers I saw for it looks great.
Yeah, the gameplay, the voice acting, everything. I'm just like, why am I not playing this game? Well, I know why, because I have to pay for it. I don't feel like paying for a game right now. What else did I do? That's it. Oh, I played Warhammer Dark Tide as well. Played a little bit of that. Leveled up my character, maybe like 2 levels. That's also a good one. It's like a Left 4 Dead, but skinned in the Boulder in the Warhammer 40K world, and it works. It's a pretty good game. 4 players go into a map, got to do achievements or accomplish missions and certain objectives and stuff like that. And then you get, from time to time, you got hordes, you got specialty characters that come after you. And for those that played, Left 4 Dead, I'd say, give this one a try. Also, free on Game Pass if you're on Microsoft or PC.
PS5 all day, living.
Yeah, well,
living.
Yeah, you gotta.
Why has he got his controller right? Lawrence always has whatever the thing is right at arm's reach.
Always.
I mean, it
My
doesn't hurt
controller
that
right
he's
here,
got like
too.
6-foot
You
arms.
know what I'm saying? Bam.
Hey,
Anyway,
Jack, maybe you're the weird one who doesn't have a controller on your desk.
right.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Where do you game at, Jack? You game on your living room?
He probably does.
I do. It's the biggest the TV's big.
I respect it. I mean, that's good for like single players. Like when you're doing like multiplayer games, especially like first person shooters, a nice, a decent sized screen monitor. That's what you need. You don't need a big TV because then your head's all over the place trying to find things.
Yeah, man.
I like seeing everything though. It's like
Yeah.
racing and PS5. Like the graphics on these games are spectacular.
I play on my Samsung I've had since 2007.
Man, I also have an old TV. Very
Lawrence, come on,
Yeah,
man.
but-
These games are like you gotta upgrade your TV.
old.
This has outlived so many TV. It's a flat screen. It's outlived so many TVs.
It's
I'm
outdated
keeping it.
though. Guarantee you it's outdated.
But listen, it's the difference,
2007.
it's the difference between VHS and DVD.
It's
DVD
not.
and Blu-ray.
No, it's not that crazy.
I'm
It's
telling.
more
How
like,
would you know? 2007.
hey,
Do
listen.
you know the year is 2023 now?
I don't need to see pores on the freaking characters' faces to enjoy
But the
the gameplay.
pores bring texture to the game.
Yeah,
Texture.
video games you really do. There's no, they know. I understand it might be too much seeing like the spots on Morgan Freeman's face when he's giving a speech, but in a video game world,
No disrespect to Morgan Freeman or his spots.
right?
What? Oh, but anyway, that was my week, right? Nothing
Good
else
week.
has happened. Yeah, nothing else has happened. But listen, I got a question for both of you. Did you hear about the bisexual? Oh no! See, I jacked the joke already.
It ain't as easy as it looks.
man.
It's not.
I messed it up already.
It's not that easy.
Did you
is it,
hear?
Rich?
Oh, did you hear about the binary, non-binary Marvel hero that they're putting out in the next movie?
No.
Do you know how he kills people? Oh, I'm sorry. Do you know how butchered it?
How
Absolutely butchered it. Guess
take 3.
take
start
3.
over.
Did you hear about the non-binary Marvel hero that they're making for Marvel?
I did not hear about it.
Oh, you know, this is how you do it. How does the non-binary hero in Marvel kills the bad guy?
How does the non-binary Marvel hero kill bad guys?
They/them. And it would have been better if
That would actually have some legs.
They/them. You know what?
That actually would have had some legs.
It was a totally different joke that I was trying to structure for comics, but yeah, I messed.
Did you come up with?
I apologize. No, I heard it. Someone said a vampire. I heard it on some podcast somewhere. Someone was like, "How does a vampire, or how do you kill a non-binary vampire?" They were like, "They/them."
It's a joke that'll get us canceled, but it's a solid joke. But Rich, it's hard to give a delivery.
It does. Yeah, it is.
Thank you.
I should have prepared that a little better.
Thank you.
But anyway, on to the news.
No, not yet. Hold on.
It's not time for the news.
Hold on.
What
Wait.
time is it?
It's time.
It's Collector's Corner.
Oh, listen, it's Collector's Corner. Right?
It's show and tell time.
Here at the Collector's Corner, we pick anything that may mean something sentimental, or in Jack's case, something that's worth millions of dollars.
Yeah.
On the Collector's Corners. Guys, what do you got?
What you got, Jack?
All right. I'm showing 2 things today. One is this pack of Ninja Turtle cartoon cards.
You got all these cards, dude.
I got all these cards. But what's funny about this series too, it's bubble gum inside, but they all have Donatello on the cover. All of them.
Huh.
Which is a little underwhelming. I was hoping to see some other turtles on here, but the box is not in great shape. But the packs are, and I've seen the packs going for like $3 to $5 a pack. So the box has some value.
Can we get you to open up one and eat the gum?
Ooh, yeah.
Well, I tell you, Lawrence, this box is from 1990, so that gum would be 33 years old.
They have good shelf lives.
They have great
Yeah, I'll
shelf
do it.
lives.
How many people we got watching us right now?
Only two. So maybe you should
So
save
you
it.
and me. Yeah, so maybe not then.
Maybe save it when we have at least 5
One.
people.
The other thing I was going to show is I got this comic book. My sister's been sending me some comic books, and she sent me this Star Trek X-Men crossover comic book.
Oh, all right.
Right? Which is, I was like, that's a really interesting crossover. But there's this one thing I want to show you. Where is it? Right. Oh, where are you?
Right.
So, who's one of the most badass characters in the X-Men?
Kitty Pryde.
Yes, exactly. And someone who people tend to sleep on is Spock. So Wolverine, Kitty Pryde, attacks Spock, and Spock puts the grip on him.
Right. Puts him to sleep or
It takes him out.
Flag on that whole play. That would never happen.
Yo,
That would
Spock's a
never happen.
badass.
That's nerve right there in your neck.
Right.
You know how fast Wolverine is?
Not
He does.
faster than
He gets
a
back
Vulcan.
up on the next page.
Romulan. Vulcan.
Whoa.
Vulcan,
man.
Vulcan. Yeah, that's what I said it right first time.
Your card. Yeah, anyways, I want to show you that. So, Spock takes out Wolverine.
Jack, put up your Ninja Turtle cards real quick, because now you got the big screen.
All right.
And that's the Bone Claw Wolverine, so he's more than likely faster, too.
You know about the Animanium weighing him?
So these are your 1990 Series 2 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle trading cards.
Sick.
All right.
Real quick, I did see a video somewhere where they did say that Kitty Pryde Shadowcat is the most slept on X-Men, and she's extremely powerful. They were showing her.
She's also got a pet dragon.
But she's like master of martial arts on some Batman tip. But also she can phase through things instinctually now. Where like a train was coming from behind her. She didn't even see it. And she still was able to phase through it as it made contact. So like you literally, no matter how fast you are, won't be able to touch her in combat.
Well, because the other thing about X-Men is they actually continue to evolve. That's why like Dark Phoenix is a thing.
Nice there, Lawrence. Or me? No,
Rich.
Lawrence, what do you have there, Lawrence? What you got?
Rich is in control. Fine. Well, you guys kind of know this, man. I went to my Target and I picked up a Chase.
Yes.
Whoa. He's got red boots.
He does have red boots.
This is the Chase one of Action Comics #1 Superman. Yeah. But if you look at him, if you can see him, this is actually not the Action Comics Superman. This is actually Superman from Superman #1 comic. This is the Chase variant that's,
just
and
way
that's
better.
also platinum. The platinum.
Okay.
Wait, where'd you find that?
By himself at Target, just sitting by himself somewhere.
At the Target by the mall?
Burbank. Yeah.
He's still got an ugly face, man, but he looks way better.
Yeah, but the face is still...
The whole color palette's better.
Yeah, but hey, listen. But I still...
he's got a different S.
I still went and
got a different S.
He does. That S is from Superman 1.
Oh.
The comic. And then I still went and got this bad boy. This is the Action Comics one. And even though his boots are actually blue in the comic, just not on the cover. They made a mistake on the cover and made his boots red. if you open up Action Comics 1, his boots are blue. My issue with this is McFarlane, instead of just giving him kind of like a onesie type leggings, they just paint over the old boot sculpt, and I hate when they do that.
It's all about money, man.
I
Save
hate
money
when they do that. But when I saw this, I was like, I told myself I wasn't going to get him. But then I thought, yo, I can do a display of Superman, all the main continuity Superman in the various costumes he has worn throughout the years. So I'm going to have a nice display under my movie Batman of Superman and the main continuity Superman. So I have some other Supermen that like
you gotta get the Blue Lightning one now.
If McFarlane comes out with it, I'll be like, I hate that one, but I'd have to. But actually, this is pretty dope, though. This is pretty dope when you think about it.
Is it?
First appearance Superman.
I guess so. Yeah, why his face looks like that, though?
Because his face was looking. I mean, his face was looking kind of. His face was looking kind of.
Yeah, right. I mean, he got more features in the figure than the actual comic.
Yeah.
That's you're right. That's true.
Yeah.
All right.
That's what I got. Oh, one more thing.
Okay.
So last week I showed my Power Ranger morpher, and I've been getting comments on my video of my unboxing that I put the coin in upside down. Oh, and I'm like, I did put it upside down. So for those of you, it does work. I just got it in upside down.
Okay. Oh, so there's
aren't
probably
you
like
glad
a pattern.
You know it works?
Don't worry, this is a good kind of green.
I am glad. That's one of the benefits of doing unboxings. You get comments telling you how to fix your toys. All right. That's what I got.
Looks good. Let's go on to me. I don't have anything special. But while perusing through Target, I found this guy who I didn't even realize was going to be coming out so soon. But listen, we keeping the theme going with the NECAs. And we got NECA Gargoyle. We got Armored Xanathos. This is when he formed a Steel Clan and he got himself a little mech suit of the Gargoyles, and he had the full New York City.
That is dope. That looks sick.
Yeah. See, trying to get him in it. Yeah. So you got two heads. You got two head scopes. One with the helmet on, one without the helmet. You got some booster blast in. He got some wrist blaster in there as well. And this dude just looks dope. And then look at the back. Like this is what I probably would try to do, right? Get two others.
Yeah.
Or get one other armored clan and just put them together. Like, let's go. Gang rolling out. But yeah, man.
I feel like you said last week, maybe it was off camera, you were like, you're slowing down now.
Yeah, I'm gonna slow down. There's like as of right now, there's only two more characters that are supposed to be coming out, and not unless they change it, they're supposed to come out next year, or at least one of them.
The girl cop is already hitting.
Is it?
It's already showing up. It's already showing up.
Well, I might be done then, because all I got to do is get Xanathos in regular clothes, and then Eliza, I forgot her name. I keep forgetting her name, but the girl cop.
Yeah.
But yeah. Sick. And some people were like, "Oh, I think one of y'all asked me like, well, why get them? Just keep the gargoyles." But I was like, because they come with the cape, the winged cape.
Xanathos comes with the cape.
Yeah, Xanathos comes with a cape, and also Eliza comes with a wing cape as well.
That's crazy. Like that sucks. I feel like as much money as you're spending on these figures, they should come with all their accessories.
They really should.
I mean,
they really should.
That's ridiculous.
But that's it. Listen, great pickups, guys. Great finds. Great treasures. Jack, just picking up stuff. We're gonna wait for you to eat that gum.
Yes.
And what are we on to? Yo, listen. We on to the news.
It's time for news. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Rich, give us some music. You still got to do the music.
Y'all don't hear this?
Not really. Coming through, we hear it like coming out of your room through your microphone faintly.
Really?
Have you been doing that?
Yeah.
Oh shoot!
See, it's been jacking up. All right. Anyway. On to the news. We're going to start off with just a little bit of sad news. Suzanne Summers had passed away at 67. I'm sorry, 76. From natural causes. She dealt with aggressive form of breast cancer 23 years ago, and she passed away peacefully at home in early mornings of today. Suzanne Summers, for those that may remember. Wait, Suzanne, I'm trying. Oh, wow, I'm spacing on this. Suzanne
Three's
Summers.
Company, man.
Three's Companies. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Yes. Suzanne Summers, Three's Companies, for those that are old enough to remember Three's Companies.
Three's Company.
I remember watching a few episodes. It wasn't my favorite thing to watch.
Thigh Master, dude.
The who?
The Thigh Master. Remember that?
She was the Thigh Master.
Like home exercise, affordable exercise equipment.
She was. But yes, she has lost her battle to breast cancer, which is a horrible thing. Had a few family members that had not passed from breast cancer, but have had dealt with it. And she will be missed. Suzanne Summers.
Her birthday's tomorrow too.
Oh, her birthday's tomorrow. Man.
Yeah.
But yeah, so rest in peace to Suzanne Summers. For those who haven't seen the Invincible 2 trailer,
I haven't seen it. Have you checked it out?
I got a little glimpse of it, and listen, man, it's looking pretty good.
Man,
it's looking pretty good, bro. Jack, did you see it?
I haven't seen it. No, I didn't know it dropped.
Listen, after this, all y'all need to do is jump on there and look at it, and then we can come back and talk about it. In fact, you know what? When we're done with this, we can talk about it while we're watching. We can watch it together.
Let's do a watch.
Okay. That's what we're going to do. We're going to do a watch. Jack, you down with that? Jack's like, man.
Right now?
No. Can we do it right now? We might be able to do it right now. No, let's not do it right now. I don't know if that might. I don't know if that might break any guidelines. All right. Also, X-Men First Class director Matthew Vaughn quits X-Men 3 after discovering fake script to trick Halle Berry.
What? Huh? This is old news?
Yeah. Before Brett Renner signed on to the helm, X-Men 3, aka X-Men: The Last Stand, Matthew Vaughn was in line to direct the 20th Century Fox movie. Apparently, there was a fake script going around to get Halle Berry into it, but it was fake. And
she's in it already.
I don't know.
But Matthew Vaughn was the first choice, and he left, and Brett Ratner came on.
Right. So, yeah, I don't know if that's really good news, but it's news.
It's news.
It's news, baby. Steve Rogers, bro. There's not that many good news.
I got some news.
What news you got?
Strikes, Rich. You got these strikes. So
the strikes I thought the strikes are done.
Nah.
No.
Actors at SAG has left the table.
No, they didn't leave the table. Studio left the table.
Oh.
Well, I thought SAG is in an interesting power position right now because of contracts on studio lots and stuff.
But the studios, I believe, are still the ones that suspended negotiations. They just had a standstill.
Oh. Well, okay. SAG is in an interesting power position right now. That's why they're probably holding out also.
I don't know.
All right.
But that's not my news. So this is an interesting bit of news. An interesting bit of news, I think. Stores like Best Buy are phasing out all DVDs and Blu-rays. They're not necessarily selling them at cheap prices to get rid of them. They're taking them off the shelf.
Oh, I guess people really aren't buying like that.
They're not.
Well, they're also I don't understand it. So by 2024, they're saying they're trying to get rid of all Blu-rays and DVDs off their shelves.
Yeah, the shelves are usually empty and bare when I go over there.
That makes sense. Like the only people buying DVDs and Blu-rays are like collectors. Like the average person isn't going to the store to buy a movie.
Yeah, but look at this. Like I would rather own a thing than have a digital copy of it because I can't resell my digital copy.
Because you're old.
Right.
Well, it's like a book though. I like having a hard.
Jack, we're not young anymore. Them 20-year-olds are like, why would I have it? Why would I have it?
Exactly.
Like I pre-ordered my
Maybe like, do you buy albums too? Is that how you listen to music? Do you buy
I
CDs?
used to buy like retro records
But
for
now,
player I had.
you download music. That's what they're
That's
on.
That's
that's
true, but that's
how
the
I download
freaking
mine.
problem with iTunes. Every few years they redo the thing, and you got like half of your inventory disappears. Like, what the f, man? I've been collecting music for decades, and
He
then
had
they
the
just
first
change a patch.
iPod, like Jack.
I did.
You
Yeah.
did. I remember
I
that. I'm
did.
like,
I
where's
love
that
this.
contraption? I got some news.
What
But
you got?
now, in order to access all your music on Apple,
You
you
gotta
actually have
subscribe.
to subscribe. So you're like, what the what?
Yeah.
I gotta buy it again?
Some things are grandfathered in though, but you can't buy new music.
But not 100% of what you've bought.
Well, I probably only got. You had thousands.
Yeah, and now I don't have access to them,
Man,
which is frustrating.
yo, the Daredevil Born Again, the series on the Disney Plus series has lost its head writers.
Yeah, do you know why?
I don't know why.
I'll tell you why. So the Daredevil series, I think they had what 3 episodes written up and were moving into production, and they canceled everything they were doing and they're starting over from scratch because what they had done was they conceptualized a courtroom drama series for Daredevil as procedural, and they realized that it was just so dirt boring because it's not Daredevil content that they scrapped the whole thing and they've started over.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
that's that bit of news.
Sometimes it's better to start over. And D'Onofrio has gone on record to say every project he's ever been on has always had reshoots and a starting over phase in pre-production.
Sure.
But I guess this really pissed off the head writers of the show because they're gone. They're gone.
But what were they thinking?
Like it's the 90s.
They said episode. They said Daredevil didn't even put on a suit until after episode 3.
All right.
That's to me. That's like watching the Ang Lee Hulk. If you watch Ang Lee's Hulk, Hulk doesn't even turn into Hulk until over 30 minutes into the movie, and you don't see him again until 60 minutes go by.
Around the same time, Christopher Reeves becomes Superman. It's like an hour into that bad boy.
Okay.
Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man.
Okay.
But I will say you're right. This is an origin story. He's already Daredevil. We don't need to wait to see him don the suit. He's
right,
already
it's the
the guy.
same actor.
Right.
Come on.
Michael Caine has officially announced he's retired from acting.
No, not Michael
Yes.
Caine. Do you know Michael Caine has a funny story? He was at a party one time and he said he kept getting bad looks from this girl. He's like, why is this girl giving me the stank eye? And eventually the girl came up to him and she says, are you a drug dealer? And Michael Caine's like, no, why? And the girl says, because everyone keeps calling you my cocaine.
Wow. Okay. And
Wow.
was that a real story or?
That's a real story. He tells.
Okay. It also sounded like a bad joke. All right.
Sound like one of Rich's jokes.
Yeah. Anyway, speaking of the Hulk, a solo Hulk movie is rumored to be in the works in Marvel Studios. Again, rumored, but solo Hulk movie. Marvel Studios regained the rights to the Incredible Hulk from Universal.
Then it's happening. Happening.
I mean, we'll see what happens.
That's why it hasn't happened.
But what's the tone and genre? What's the tone of it?
No matter. Hulk smash.
Hulk smash? Yeah.
Not recently. It's Hulk monologue.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Hulk smash and talk a lot. Jason Momoa reportedly tried to get Amber Heard fired from Aquaman, showed up drunk dressed as Johnny Depp.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But apparently and then Elon Musk, Amber Heard's ex-boyfriend, wrote, I will burn your whole studio to the ground if you don't keep her on board. Now,
it's crazy.
The producers are saying absolutely not. Jason Momoa did nothing of the thing. And also, to be quite honest, he dresses like Johnny Depp anyway. They have that bohemian kind of thing anyway. But basically, Amber Heard already said, like, on her trial that her role in this movie was downsized tremendously. And the executives are saying that's because of her chemistry with Momoa, not because of the stuff that was going on with her and Johnny Depp. Either way, reports are coming up that Aquaman 2 is going to be a dumpster fire, unfortunately. And James Gunn, more news we already knew. They have confirmed that none of the actors who played any of the heroes in the Justice League will be returning at all. So if anyone wondered if Gal Gadot's still going to come back as Wonder Woman at some point, no, they're all scrapped. But apparently, rumor has it, and very strong rumor is Jason Momoa will be Lobo in this new DCU universe. And he might make his appearance in the Superman movie. So there's that.
Well,
that's a lot of news right there.
yeah. Also, one more. I guess we'll do one more. Marvel Studios was shook by negative response to Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. Why?
How could they be surprised?
I don't know why they were. It was supposed to kick off the Phase 4, as we all know, including Kang the Conqueror, and revealing the secrets of the quantum realm. And the movie did all that, and the over-reliance on volume and a bizarre ending meant it was ultimately a major disaster. It was a bizarre ending. I don't understand how this dude, Kang, as we all saw, supposed to be this all-powerful being, and you beat him in a fist fight? Like, why do we talk? Like,
and not just anybody beat him in a fist fight. All right,
the guy who's not even trained. Like, what?
if it was Steve Rogers, that'd be like, okay. If it was freaking Falcon, okay. Scott Lang,
right?
No, but the other thing was the problem with the way that movie ended, and we've talked about it, is it not only devalued itself, Kang as a villain, but it also devalued the whole Loki series, which was great setting up Kang.
Yeah.
So it was like, and the worst part about that movie was it made me really hard question the importance of any of the streaming series.
Oh, they're not important.
Like, they have no bearing. You can't establish the main villain in a series just to completely reestablish it and negate everything that happens in the series.
I tell you, there's one series, maybe two, that seems like they matter. And I'm not even joking. Miss Marvel, the fact that she shows up in this movie with Captain Marvel is like at least a series looks like it matters as far as this character's trajectory into the main thing. And Captain America probably be the same thing too. What, Rich?
Does Miss Marvel look like it matters?
The fact that she's in a movie with Carol Danvers,
established is what he's saying.
They're letting the series say that was her origin. Now see her next adventure on the big screen. Whereas
Right.
Loki is like, Ant-Man 3 came out?
Right, but it's the same thing. It's the same thing with the Multiverse of Madness. What they did with Scarlet Witch. I'm like, you had that same arc play out in WandaVision. And she found redemption.
Same exact.
And we saw her character, but then you completely undo everything and bastardize her character with this movie.
And so she didn't care about Vision.
And she didn't care about her family. Yeah, I'm like, what?
What's funny?
Are you guys watching your own content?
Well, Rich said it was interesting when Rich said they were shocked, and it's like when I think of Warner Brothers and how they fumbled the ball with the whole Justice League and all that stuff. It's like when you have the popular guy in high school, right? He doesn't have to try hard because he's popular. So you think you got Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman. You feel like you don't have to try too hard. Them being on the screens enough. It wasn't. Now Marvel's kind of doing that. We made billions of dollars. We're good. Just throw Ant-Man up there. It's fine. And it's like, no. You got to go back to that humble nature you had when you did Iron Man 1. Like, go back to the
content, man. Content and storytelling matter.
Yeah.
And they're like, we're not just coming to see anything. Well, so we'll see.
Anyway,
but we're all watching Loki though, so it's something. It's working. It's still working.
I mean, performances are great.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, that's it. That's the news.
That was the news.
Let's see if this goes. Still super low. We'll work on it next time.
Sounds like it's just
muffled. Okay. Anyway, Jack, quit smiling. Lauren, stop laughing. It's time to get serious.
Let's get ready to rumble.
It's time for debate.
Yo, what the show? And that's the news. Hey, Jeff's here.
So, anyway, So since we're looking at, Jeffrey, hey Jeffrey, what's going
Jeffrey
on there?
Miller.
He probably doesn't like to be called Jeff. Hey, what's going on, Jeff? What's going on, guy?
Jeff.
What's going on, J Dog? J
Don't
Money,
assume that about him. He might like to go by Jeffrey. He
J
might hate
Boogie,
Jeff. Yeah, I like J Boogie.
J Wheezy. Okay,
Did you
anyway,
say Jay Boogity?
J
J
Boogie,
Boogie.
man. J Boogie.
Come
What
on,
it
man.
do?
Why, get some,
Oh,
get
boy.
some. You have been hanging around us this long. You J
Get some
Boogie.
swag, baby. Come
Jeez.
on, Jay.
All right, we'll get you, man. You turn into sour milk. We need to turn you into chocolate milk.
Wow.
Oh, let's go. All right. Listen, since we're
That's the quote of the year right there.
since we're talking about Event Horizon, I was like, hey, if we had the ability to travel the far known expanses of space, what ship would you do it in? And you can use, and actually, this really isn't a debate, it's more like your opinion, but we'll try to break it down and dismantle it because some ships just shouldn't be out there doing the things that you want them to do. But anyway, what ship would you use? You can use comic, uh, TVs, movies, so on and so forth. And also, what type of captain would you be if you had a crew? Would you be a terror? Would you be helping? Would you be leading the revolution? Would you be leading the war? What would you do? Let's go. I feel like Lawrence would have some good questions. Start with him.
Oh boy. All right, this is easy, and I just won. So in Power Rangers in Space, they have the Astro Megaship. So I'll be flying the Astro Megaship. Astro Megaship can also turn into a Zord, kind of like Voltron in the middle of a fight. So it can turn into a giant robot. The ship also gives us our own powers and uniforms. So morphers come out of the ship. We put those on. We pretty much have suits of armor that let us call off any kind of weapons we want to. We fly a ship that can turn into a giant fighting robot. And the kind of captain I am, I'm like Lawrence Fishburne in Event Horizon, man. I am a hero. I'm leading, but I delegate everything. Everything is delegated. I don't fix ships. So you go out there and fix the wing. I don't heal people. You go in the medical bay and you fix him. That's the kind of captain I am.
Oh, okay.
And what kind of travel capabilities does your ship have?
Oh man, speed of light, dude. It's the Astro
it?
Mega ship.
Speed of light? Take you forever to get anywhere. You can't even get to the closest star in your lifespan. You're toast.
Oh, snap. He right.
Wait, speed of light, he says.
Well,
He,
So lame. Yeah, any space vessel created, he chooses speed of light.
Jack, some people are here for the bang, not the speed, baby.
But you ain't getting anywhere.
but you're not getting nowhere if you
First of all, this ship. Hold on, let me look at this ship.
Wow. Underwhelmed.
No, actually, it can go faster than that.
I hope so.
It can, because, well, I mean, the way they traverse planets in Power Rangers and go to Earth and to like some other planet and fight all these aliens, absolutely. I just call. I don't know. It goes fast.
It
goes fast. And if your ship don't turn into a giant fighting Gundam, then I don't know what we're doing here.
Yeah, but your cockpit's in the cockpit.
That's not bad.
It's in the cockpit.
That's not bad.
There's only 2 appropriate vessels to even remotely pick from.
Okay. Well, then you go next. What are they? And did you pick them?
I would choose. It's not what I'm choosing, but I would like this. The Star Trek Enterprise is such a great choice from like next gen because you got the holodeck. We go anywhere you want and relax. You can have any food you want possible at the replicators. You got a full crew. You got plenty of space. The ship detaches into 2 parts. You got weapon, shield. You got the warp drive. You could even retrofit that thing with like a spore drive, and now you're going anywhere you want. So you can't go wrong with the Starship Enterprise. Is probably one of the greatest space vessels ever created.
If you look for a cruise ship,
I mean, no, he's not really a cruise ship. It's an exploration ship. So if you're going out to explore, then that makes sense.
we out here fighting. We wear
No,
suits
no,
of armor.
I didn't
Well, he
say
didn't
that.
say-
You're
he didn't-
fighting.
Yes, I'm
But
fighting.
it's
didn't
actually
say
going to
that.
take you 2 million light years to get to someplace
No,
to go
right.
get
I
into
can
that
go
battle.
It
So
can go
All
faster.
right, here you go. Listen, I got your fighting ship too. You want power? I would take. All right, I'll put it in perspective for you. Last week I was talking about the TARDIS, which, by the way, is not only a starship that travels its the speed of light with 16 zeros behind it. So however fast that is.
okay.
And it time travels. And it would take the equivalent of the Big Bang to even put a dent into it. And the TARDIS, for all intents and purposes, is a crusted, busted, old run-of-the-mill vehicle. So the TARDIS is like type, like Tony Stark's Iron Man armor. It's like Mach 1. It's
Okay.
actually, it's type 40 something. But I would take the TARDIS type, I think it's 91. It's the War TARDIS, which basically makes the TARDIS look like a Volkswagen. The War TARDIS has the war capability of erasing entire galaxies. It can rewrite time, it can pause time, rewind time, or fast forward time, and it's a spaceship.
I think
So-
we need to fact check this whole thing.
Fact check me. War TARDIS.
War
And
TARDIS.
you got a Gundam, you're sitting in its crotch.
Yeah, and I get powers.
Wow.
Look at you all safe inside. We know what kind of captain you are.
War
A
TARDIS.
war TARDIS.
Okay, War TARDIS. Okay, well, while he looks that up, we're going to talk about my ship. My ship is a little bit more practical, I guess. Listen, I'm going with the Rocinante from The Expanse. All right. I got a crew of like what, 4 to 6 people. I don't need to be over managing people. They got their things they got to do. The ship can travel faster than the speed of light. All right, so I can get to places, and even if there's no place there, I could jump through gates, no problem. Okay, got the hyperspace sleep for us, so we can kind of go into little stasis. We don't have to feel no effects. Also, it has stealth capability. It was one of the most high tech stealth ships out there. In fact, it was experimental at one point. And rumored to be a rumor out there, and people didn't believe it was a real thing. Has the weapons to take care of pretty much most fights except for like major like battles. Nice running gunship. Have a good cargo space. I mean, I'll just be out there just freelancing it. Like, what do you need? Gun for hire, mercenary.
If you're gonna be a gun for hire, why don't you take the Marauder and at least have the blink drive?
I don't want the Marauder. I want the Rocinante.
Boy, I think I won this debate.
Who's the Marauder? What's the Marauder? Are we even talking about the same universe?
No, we're not. That's
Okay.
what is called dark matter.
Dark man. I don't think I didn't think I was.
Yo, man, you want a good space series? Check out Dark Matter. It's pretty good.
I won.
How'd you win?
How did you
My
win?
ship turns into
got a
Voltron.
You got an oversized Gundam that moves at a snail's pace.
And you
It doesn't
can't
move
go
at a snail's
anywhere.
pace. Yes, I can. I go to different planets. They did it on the show all the time. Don't listen to me. It's faster
But
than speed
how?
of light.
What?
It's
But
faster.
how? They're going to the
I don't know what I'm talking about.
speed of light though. They're super slow.
I got a time traveling spaceship that's got more weapon capability than the entire equivalent of a
Yeah, but once you step out your ship, you're done.
Why would I do that?
You're never so
Why
you
would-
so none of your
These-
adventures will require you to step out of your ship ever.
No, in my spaceship, no. There's no need for that.
Everyone steps out of their spaceship.
Not really.
Even Captain Kirk had to step out of his spaceship.
That's only if he wants
Well,
to go
here's
down to
another
the planet.
cool thing about my spaceship. It's got a universal translator, so no matter who I come in contact with, I understand them, and they speak
Jack,
my.
my
That's true.
iPhone has a universal translator.
Oh boy,
That's
Not
not like
your-
that's
not your oversized Gundam.
That's not. I'm sure. That's like iOS 1.
Anyone watching this?
He
who wins
said,
this
"We
debate?
Google
I've
can
won
do
this
that,
debate,
Jack."
right? Haven't I won this debate?
All right, listen. I'm gonna say I never knew about the war tortoise. Okay.
Right.
Yes, I said tortoise. But I'm gonna have to give it to Jack. Jack wins on this one.
Thank you.
You're still trying to look up how fast the thing goes. You can't even figure it out. You didn't even think about speed of light travel.
It can go faster than the speed of light, allowing voyages between solar systems. This ship is run by a single person or even itself with the help of Deca or Alpha 6. However, it can comfortably support a crew of 16. Okay, get off. Jack, you won your first debate.
About that. Right.
Listen. Well, congratulations, Jack.
Well
Thank
done,
you.
Jack.
Thank
Okay.
you. Thank you. Thank you.
But let's move on to why we're here.
Let's get to the reason why we're here.
It's time for the main event.
Ooh, Jack. Get some bass on that, man.
I'm over here sitting there trying to look up the War Tortoise, and I forgot to pull up freaking Event Horizon.
It says the TARDIS or whatever, can extremely powerful. So yes, Jack, if the war is even, I believe you.
How about that?
And then I got too far into Doctor Who lore, and I got extremely bored. Like that's usually what happens when I try to jump into Doctor Who. It's a little rough for me.
It's pretty good. They're bringing David Tennant back.
I never got to his season.
He's the best season, man.
I know, but I started with the first of the new ones.
Oh, yeah, he's okay. But after him is David Tennant. You should just jump to the Tennant years. Those are really good stories. And they're bringing I think they're bringing the original writing team back a little bit for that.
You don't have to watch them in order. What's the point? I'm not talking about watching the old Doctor Who from like the 70s or whatever. I'm talking like, what's the point if you can't start from the beginning of the new?
Well, something cool. Well, he regenerates. So every time he regenerates, he changes form. But I guess what they're doing something really crazy is they're going to degenerate him somehow and bring him back. So they're doing something new with the content.
Okay. Well, anyway, the Event Horizon. When the Event Horizon, a spacecraft that vanishes years earlier, suddenly reappears, a team is dispatched to investigate the ship. Accompanied by the Event Horizon's creator, William Weir, a crew of the Lewis and Clark, led by Captain Miller, begins to explore the seemingly abandoned vessel. However, it soon becomes evident that something sinister resides in its corridors, and that the horrors that befell the Event Horizon's previous journey are still present. Event Horizon.
So we can kind of jump into this, right? We don't want to do spoiler free.
Spoiler free first. Let's keep the format.
Are you serious? We don't.
It
came out in 1997.
It did.
But Jeffrey probably hasn't seen it yet.
Jeffrey is gone.
Jay Money's out of here.
He only stays for Chris.
Yeah, so does my sister. Chris is our Michael Jordan. As much as we all want to be Michael Jordan.
Okay.
All right, spoiler-free thoughts.
I've seen this movie a bunch of times. I haven't seen it in a decade, though.
Hold on, Chris is here.
Yo,
Michael Jordan in the
we were
house.
just talking about you.
We were.
what up? Look who I'm with. Yo, what's going on?
Dave
Yo,
Gucci. Dave Gucci. What it do?
What's
What's
going
going on?
everybody?
What's up, dude?
Usual.
They want to say what's listeners are tens of fans that are out.
What are the chances he'd jump on right when we talk about him?
Right?
Chris is magic, guys. He's not real. He's magic. You breaking up though, Chris?
About Event Horizon. You guys on the main event?
Yeah, we're on Event Horizon right now.
You're breaking up, bad. Okay.
We're on Event Horizon right now. You're not missing much.
Oh, I guess that's your.
It's the shining in space.
It's a retro episode. We just want to say what's up. And
Okay.
That's all.
All right.
All right.
All right then.
Chris, our audience wants to know, how are the hemorrhoids? Are you okay?
They're good. I got that cream you gave me, the one that you used for yours.
Wait, what the hell you guys why are we talking some anal
It's topical, Dave. It's not anal, it's topical. It goes. Nothing.
All right, the stuff you said not for internal use, for external use only.
External use only.
That's it.
Wow.
All right,
Okay.
Chris, get out of here, man. Let's talk about this movie.
I just want to say what's up to you guys.
All right, brother Dave.
All right. Later.
Good seeing y'all, man.
Later.
Yeah, that was Chris and his best friend Dave. I've known Dave. Rich, we've known Dave for years. And seems Chris's hemorrhoids are clearing up, so he'll be back next week, hopefully.
Hopefully. We'll see.
So, spoiler-free thoughts. I think I said it. It is The Shining in space. It felt, when I was watching it, I was like, this is actually pretty good. This is pretty good. Then it got towards the end, and I'm like, this is such a rich movie. And by rich, I don't mean like rich, like chocolate. I mean like Richard Wilson movie. He would watch these B weird sci-fi pitch black 13 ghosts. I was watching everything about this, felt like this is one of them Richard movies.
Yes.
And I was like, it's so specific. It's so I can't say it holds up or not holds up. It's just it's very specific to the 90s. Everything about it felt 90s.
Well, I've seen this movie a handful of times, and I was a little gun shy going back into it because I haven't seen it in over a decade at this point. But I was like, I don't know whether I'm going to enjoy this film again, because previous time watching it, I have enjoyed it. I think the movie does hold up. The graphics certainly don't. The CGI is because
this is my first time. Let me put it out there. So you know, I've never seen it before.
Sorry. I enjoy the movie, and I've seen it a bunch of times. So I was pleased that by the end of the experience, I was affected as I typically am watching this film.
Okay, in a good way or bad way?
It's it's a horror film, so it's like it's disturbing on a lot of levels.
All right. Okay. For me, listen, is Goth in space.
Goth in space.
Goth in space. That ship was very gothic. Like you looked at some of the main bridge part. It looks like bricks.
That's
the
like
way the metal plates were set up.
That's that 90s, man. I feel like 90s horror, that sci-fi thriller always kind of had that edgy, it's similar edgy darkness to it.
It had a very parts of the ship had a very gothic look. Like the main engine core of it had the spike, just random spikes.
Weird.
Don't know why we had spikes, but it looked gothic,
like
goth in space.
I mean, cool though. The visual concept of the ship and why the ship's design is very cool.
It felt like it was made for 3D. There's some of like the visual effects that didn't hold up, but it felt like they were coming towards the screen.
I think it might have been
3D even a thing back then.
Yeah, 3D goes back a long time.
Yeah, 3D does. Yeah,
and some of the blood felt like they made it so it came towards us, and that's that was very interesting.
I watched this movie when it first came out. I don't remember anything 3D.
You saw it in theaters?
I think I did, actually. Yeah.
I don't know. I just felt like everything they were doing, or they were just going ham on the new effects.
I think that's what it was. These were early day effects back then, and then '96.
They went ham on it.
But everything that's digital is really the thing that doesn't hold up about the movie for me. The movie itself, the performances hold up, and even like
you know what? Let's just get up into it. Let's go.
Let's get in there.
The set design, I thought was particularly, except for Lawrence Fishburne's chair is really weird. It's a really weird captain's chair.
I actually didn't think the set design was great. It felt like pieces of other things I've seen. And they could have made the two ships look more different.
But my question is, I hear what you're saying, but this is your first time seeing the movie. Mm-hmm. How many of your reference points are actually films that have come after this movie?
Well, it felt Alien and Aliens, right? That type of just dark corridors and misty, and I'm cool with that. But I felt like, why do both ships have that same kind of feel?
I mean, it felt very Matrix ship to me, which I don't know if that's
Matrix too.
The Fishburne element of it just pulled me into it.
Because Matrix is after this.
Oh, it's way after this.
Way after. Yeah.
Not
90,
way.
90,
well,
90
years.
99.
2 years, right?
3,
But
4.
Matrix, I would say, has that kind of goth 90s
Texture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did like the design. I just felt like the two ships could have looked different. His ship, Miller's ship, and then Event Horizon could have looked. I mean, they were made. There's a 40-year difference between them, right? Because this
True.
ship's been missing for 40 years. It felt like
Almost felt like the Event Horizon was more technologically advanced, other than just the fact that obviously it is, but like the design in it looks more sleek.
alien,
Yeah.
but still the texture felt similar. Like if I wasn't paying attention, I could have been like, "Which ship are they on right now?"
Yeah, but I'll say this, Lawrence. I mean, look at cars. Cars in the last 40 years haven't changed that drastically. Especially if you look like at supercars that were 40 years ago, they almost look more sci-fi futuristic than some of the
Depends
blase
on
models
what
now.
you look at production cars. Those you definitely see a change in production cars because you got the LED lights and everything like that, and they'll change out because they're moving from like LED lights to like from halogen lights to like LED. So you'll see the change in the headlight designs and stuff like that, and tail lights and everything. But yeah, they could have deviated a little bit.
And there
But
were
even
differences. There were differences, but I felt like they could have been.
But I
better.
didn't get the sense that Fishburne's ship was the state of the art vessel either. I mean, his vessel is probably at least 20 years old,
which would still make it newer than Event Horizon.
Yeah, but also his ship was
Event Horizon was only missing for 7 years, I thought.
No, it was missing for a while.
No, it wasn't missing for 40 years. It was missing for about 7 years.
It was missing. Yeah, my bad. 7 years.
Yeah, so they would have been very similar in that regard.
But I'm just talking about from a production standpoint of differentiating where you are. Design elements.
I thought it was weird that the Event Horizon had a giant nameplate on its. I mean, that thing was like odd. It looked cool, but it's that's not practical.
Can we talk about I want to talk about the very beginning, which made me go like, "That's freaking dope." When they showed the mountain, kind of like I guess Paramount thing or whatever, and then it kind of goes across the mountain into space, and then we get the credits of the movie. The very, very beginning, the very top. I thought that was extremely interesting. It's like
I didn't even notice that.
It's a regular logo. You see it in all the movies, and then all of a sudden the camera goes past that mountain into space, and it just got creepy out of nowhere. And I'm like, at that time, seeing that for the first time, that would have blew my. I would have been like, "Oh, we're about to."
I thought about how simple the credits are, and to me that dates a film almost. You're like, oh, we're just sitting through names on a background for a minute.
Yeah. And I didn't mind the effects of the ship in space. It was only like when they tried to make water float and glass and debris float.
Yeah, and like the wrench and the bottle.
But like seeing them in space or later on Miller Fishburne tries to get the guy. That stuff actually that looked pretty good.
There was certain points. I mean, from a physics standpoint, there's certain things that just didn't make sense. Now, if they didn't explain it, like from the umbilicus, from going from the ship to the umbilicus, you have gravity on the ship, and the umbilicus was the long tube to connect. Mm-hmm. Okay, there's no gravity on the umbilicus, so why would you have gravity on the ship but no gravity on the umbilicus? That's always a thing in like space movies. They don't explain how they have gravity. Which is
maybe we should give this conversation a little context. So the Event Horizon, if you haven't seen it, is a movie made in the 90s. It's a space horror film which basically follows a rescue crew's mission to go rescue or see what's going on with another ship that had been missing for approximately 7 years and pops up. They bring the creator of the ship with them on the rescue mission to examine the ship when they get there. They find out that the ship has the ability to create black holes that allows it to travel anywhere.
Well, I already said that at the beginning, but they didn't find out about the black holes until like maybe in the middle or so when they reactivate the ship. And when we reactivate the ship, and Baby Bear, who is, first of all, his scream was annoying. the younger dude. When he was sucked into the black hole device,
The heart of
whatever
the
it is, the heart of the ship, and then they have to pull him out, and now he assembles the crew, and he's like, "What happened?" Like Lawrence Fishburne Miller, Captain Miller, is talking to the captain, and he's like, "Yo, we need to know what's going on." And he gathers the whole crew around. And he starts explaining that this is a ship that we created to jump through space, pretty much. So rather than going through the sleep cycle that they did in the cryo tubes or the sleep tubes or whatever they were called, they can just instantaneously fold the universe, fold space, and create a portal on both sides to get to where they need to go to instantaneously.
The 1966 Batman costume channel and more just dropped in the chat. Said a great film, loved it, creepy as f. Yeah, it was creepy. Okay, here's my question.
Okay.
I don't know if we need to do a severe recap for a movie that's been 16 years old, but we will give context what we're talking about. I was with the whole film. Rich called me last night, and I was in the middle of watching it. I'm like, you know what? This isn't bad. I'm with it. Until I got to what the actual big bad was.
Okay.
Hell is on the other side.
But
the
that's
ship's
not
alive
what
now.
That's actually not what the big bad is. It's more ambiguous, especially if you jump into the.
But they describe it. He
That's
like
what they
said.
They don't the closest they can compare it to is that of a living hell, but they've literally go into another dimension, and they don't know whether they've brought back a sentient alien being that's taken over the ship or something from that other dimension that is
or the ship itself
chaos.
has gotten
that's where
formed sentience.
They lost me. That's where it went from sophisticated sci-fi thriller to you put a name on it, but not really. You don't know really what it is, and now you're just going to use horror tropes to make me feel scared without actually defining. So now you went from like The Shining to Hellraiser in a second.
Yes. Well, even the way it's visually depicted is very Hellraiser-esque.
But I don't mean that in a good way. I mean that you went from Stanley Kubrick, edge of my seat, not sure what I'm seeing in the dark, to in your face gory horror.
Yeah.
That requires no brain cells.
You're saying this you're not saying this in a good way?
No. No. Maybe as a kid, but as an adult watching this for the first time with all these actors, I'm expecting more at the end of this. Like, remember The Abyss?
Well,
right.
Like,
yes.
It's just something more at the end of it, as opposed to like it's some ghost alien thing that's possessing people, and now he wants to kill all of you. I'm like, okay.
Well, that's it's odd because once the Miller character takes captain of the vessel, it seems as though his MO isn't necessarily to kill anyone, but rather to bring them back.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what you ever play Dead Space?
Yes.
They based it off of this, right?
I would think
They
that
did.
I would think for me, I would think like the Dead Space character is Lawrence Fishburne's character once he gets pulled back to wherever that ship disappeared to. Like now you're in that chaos and you're trying to survive it.
I just don't do well with undefined evil. Feels like it's a cop out. We're not gonna explain what it is because
right.
But the movie felt too sophisticated at the top to play that up. Maybe if it felt a little bit more tongue in cheek, a little bit over on the nose horror, I could accept that. But here I felt like the beginning felt like The Conjuring, where you're planting these seeds in this riddle and this mystery that ends up to be.
I hear what you're saying. They kind of never. I mean, the closest you get to it is the characters say hell. The characters say this ship has traveled to some other dimension. They label it as hell. The guy who's dying says, "Save yourself from hell." The girl says, "Hell," a living hell. So we keep hearing the word hell, but then they also say we don't know where the ship has traveled.
Right.
And I guess I don't need it to be labeled, but what's his face? Jurassic Park. His character's name
Yeah,
is
Weir, he said
Weird.
hell is like a simplification of what it is. There's
Right.
no words for what this is.
Chaos.
And
Right, chaos.
what makes this go from something that feels sophisticated to cheap is that I don't care if it's hell or whatever. Why does it need you? Why does it want you? Why does it want you to come to the black hole? Why does it want to torture you? Because we're bad and evil, not good enough. Why do you need it? That's what makes it sophisticated. I know why the big bad wants you or needs you or desires you.
Mm.
Here, he just wanted it because that's what bad guys do. And that's where it felt a little.
I see that. I think this
Okay.
movie actually still holds up in the sense of performances work. The story is compelling enough. Although I agree with what you're saying, Lawrence, it's missing maybe a little bit of the why, especially near the end when you start understanding the bigger picture of it and you start wanting that element filled in. Unless you're going to leave it like mad vague, then don't even drop the other elements of it, right? Don't point it in a direction if you're not taking it in a direction.
Well, eventually you kind of have to, right? Because it's still sci-fi. It's still science-ish, but you have to explain some things. It's not fantasy where you can completely just go, well, that's the rules of this world. Here, it's like, no, there are rules. And there's something on the other side of that black hole. And this movie bombed in the box office, by the way, complete flop. And
What
got
the
a
heck,
cult
though?
following afterwards. But
Yeah.
apparently there's 30 minutes of footage that was cut out that
Oh.
maybe has all the answers I'm looking for that has never been put out there. There's like another 30 minutes that I guess it was too horrific, too gory, too violent, but it might have explained.
It's probably what you get in the DVD.
And I don't think it's ever been released.
No?
I think it's
Probably.
like on the cutting room floor somewhere. Like they said, absolutely not. And then after it bombed, they probably had no incentive in the cult
Well,
following.
you get flashes of just how horrific the graphic the movie is.
Yeah.
You know, it's and in that regard, it is very Hellraiser-esque.
But it's still
Yeah.
Diet Hellraiser. It's still
Yeah, it's
not
a
as
Diet
bad as Hellraiser. It's not as creepy as The Shining, and it's not as gory as Hellraiser.
But it is set in space.
It
But
is
it
set in
is set in
space.
space. Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah. So they find the ship. They board it. And upon boarding, they got to power it up. And things start. Once they power it up, things starts happening. Right. They're trying to find the records. Baby Bear, who his name is, let me get his name one more time. Justin, yes. Justin is pulled into the device, into the core, which we are assuming pulls him into hell or the chaos realm, and is pulled out by Cooper. Also, Cooper, I mean, I just add, it seems like he might have like renegotiated his contract because there were some voiceovers of when he talks. He
Were
probably
there?
was like, listen, it sounded like it was like, listen, I don't have enough
Yeah.
lines. And they
Well,
just
could have been ADR. There's a lot of stuff when he's in the mask that seemed to have been slipped in there.
yeah.
Or they knew this movie didn't make no sense. So in post production, they had to add in voiceover or ADR to further add dialogue to explain what's going on.
But his dialogue is like just fun stuff. It's
Or
comic
maybe
relief stuff.
maybe they needed more of that. They're like, we need some levity.
They probably did. Cooper was. I enjoyed Cooper in this though.
I didn't enjoy Cooper, and I love
Why
this
not?
actor.
Why
I
not?
love Richard T. Jones because it's the first time I'm seeing it. So
Okay.
by the point of me seeing it now, it's a trope. Oh, there's always that one guy in the crew.
You know.
Back then, it probably would have been fine. Now I'm like, okay, that's the archetype. The talking trash and is just obviously offensive just because he thinks it's fun. It just felt very just on
I'd
the
tell
nose.
you what was interesting to me is not all the characters were singled out. So like the ship has the ability to tap into the crew's minds and project their fears or the things that are, haunting them as a person, but it doesn't do that to all the crew characters.
I think Cooper and
the
the
doctor.
dude that I think some of them weren't in the ship. Cooper was like on the wing fixing it, and some like
Yes.
not they weren't all in that main hub. I think only the ones in the main hub got affected. The ones outside of it didn't.
Right. Cooper, not the captain, the pilot.
Yeah, he was not there.
Pilot and the doctor never
and the
got it.
doctor.
But
Right.
the doctor did start behaving odd, but I didn't feel like
I felt like that was him.
Yeah, that was him because he said they were kind of just like he was like the rain. In the rain on a shiny day, he was like he was a dark guy. He had a story behind him that we need a little bit more of to understand why was he so.
But I guess that was the other thing. I always wondered, like, what were the rules of engagement? That was never clear to me. And I remember thinking
No, there was. They said to recover any crew that was there and any equipment that they could bring back.
I mean the rules. I mean usually a story operates by a set of rules that they determine.
Okay.
And so I never identified what I thought the rules of how the ship worked were.
It felt like they watched The Shining. And it was
Again,
like one guy is going to get possessed and some people are going to get haunted by certain things. And they didn't actually break it down or didn't make it in the film or got cut out. But like, I didn't see the point of them being haunted. Like, what does the ship want? To be left alone?
I will give you that because I was thinking some of the same thing because I'm like, what? So they bring back this set of crew, this crew, and then what? Does the ship come back again and they send out another one? Like eventually they're going to be like, nah, we're losing too many people and resources.
Right.
We're going to keep it here. And I was like, so what's the next? Like if Weir was to get in there, get possessed, like was he going to fly the ship to maybe closer to Earth, create a bigger portal, like do some like Doom type thing, where they open up a portal to hell or the chaos realm, and then creatures come out and possess Earth or something, or like merge the two worlds together. Like I didn't understand that part. I was thinking that part. I was like, huh, what's the point?
But to Jack's comment, the rules of engagement is always on what does the bad guy want. Like Darth Vader has specific rules of engagement because you know what he wants. So everything he does.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
They do set this movie up to have some sort of like Aliens 2 sequel, Because
she panics at the end, so maybe she brought it back with her.
Well, no, but I mean, in the sense of the ship goes to the Chaos Realm with Weir and Fishburne. The fish makes
blows
the
it
jump.
up.
No, it doesn't.
No, he blows up. He blows up the corridors in between.
He blows up the thing connecting the two halves, and they leave the three crew members in the one half, and the other half jumps through the black hole.
Right.
So what they should have done, instead of closing on the girl screaming when she wakes up from cryo, should have closed on what's happening to him in there.
Yeah, exactly, and that's where the sequel is, which is
or
like
just nightmare, or it's just nightmare fuel. Like the last image is of the guy you thought would save the day being skinned alive.
Yeah.
Nightmare fuel.
Because I don't see how that one guy was going to get at a whole universe, a whole dimension by himself without knowing how the technology works.
Right.
But yeah, so him being skinned alive, that would work.
The ship was turning itself on.
True. But I mean, if you're getting skinned alive, you're not going to have the energy or the life to escape.
No, I don't think he was trying to escape. That was his suicide.
No, yeah, he was. Because you saw through the movie, he reminisced back to a story which he never told anyone, which was a crew member of his that was burning alive. Right.
Yeah.
He had to close off a hatch before the whole ship was engulfed in flames, pretty much. And that was his visions, and so that's why he sacrificed himself to save his crew, because he didn't have what he had. He couldn't do it back then,
which was interesting because it was like these visions aren't real. But then when he imagined that flame guy, that guy threw like something at him.
Yeah,
felt like it would have killed him.
But he said they never agreed that the visions weren't real. They always said the visions are real
and can touch you and hurt you.
He said, if I felt the flame coming off of them, these are more than just hallucinations. That's what everyone who was experiencing it, except for Ware, who kept down talking everything. It's like, well, it could have been the carbon monoxide. You're having hallucinations. And like, that's not what's going on.
So then why not kill them all one by one? Like, why
Who?
scare them? The ship.
Maybe they needed the fuel from
Well,
their
But that's my
fear.
point. You're adding in these ghost like moments because you want this to be a horror film. But why
The
not
only-
just kill them? Because you
there
want,
is kind
it
of an
just makes
answer.
sense.
There
What's
is
the
kind of an
answer?
answer.
What's that?
It seemed to me that the ship was able to turn on its core because it sucks Justin, Baby Bear, into it, but the
Right.
ship doesn't have the ability to operate itself. And that's why Weir has to be possessed, and Weir is the one who eventually types in the code to get the ship to activate. And so if you go by that means, then you would say the ship needed to possess someone or control someone or have someone on its side in order to operate again. And so maybe it doesn't want to just kill everybody, it wants to get home.
But I felt like it was singling out Weird from the beginning. Like it knew who it wanted to
Weir
possess.
was most susceptible because you saw him protecting the ship from the beginning.
So why not kill off the rest of the crew?
Well,
If
I guess you can.
if the visions can touch you, like why are we what's with the foreplay here?
Well, the ship does actually
Let's
start
get
killing
into
off
it.
the rest of the crew.
I know, but like why does she have to see her kid say mommy with mangled legs? Why not just have that kid stab her in the throat?
Well, I mean, the best I can extrapolate is, other than the fact that it's a horror genre and it wants to build suspense and tension, is usually evil entities tend to play with their food before they eat it.
But there's always a reason, right? So in Freddy Krueger, you'll get to a movie where he says, "I need them to believe in me enough, and that's where I get my power from. The more they
Right.
believe in me, the more they're scared, the more I get power, so I haunt them." Ghosts are like you can't control you or deal with you until it really starts to be scared. There's rules in which they're not just haunting to haunt, and those movies are the cheaper ones. Why are you haunting them if you want to kill them?
Well, if the thing, let's hypothetically say for a second, even though the movie doesn't commit to it, but let's commit, if we commit to the idea that the movie goes to hell or some sort of equivalent of hell, then the best I can extrapolate is hell is a place where people are tortured endlessly and infinitely. So I don't want to kill a thing. I want to torture them to get the most amount of.
Which would make sense. Then that's why the crew is missing. No bodies, no dead bodies anywhere. They didn't kill the last crew. They're all probably in the chaos dimension, the hell dimension.
Right. And there was only one person, there was only one body in that ship, and that was the last captain.
But there was like skulls and.
But what's interesting then Weir possessed went out of his way to kill the doctor. Why kill the doctor? Why not save him to go into the dimension to get tortured? Because isn't that your objective?
Right.
But no, you cut him open and you filleted him.
Well, but Weir wasn't just Weir. Weir was hybrid of Weir versus whatever the entity was. I got the sense that whatever that thing was joined with Weir. That's why does Weir have superhuman strength?
But that's my point. If the ship's goal, according to you, is to bring people to the hell dimension, not kill them, then why kill the doctor?
But he does torture the doctor.
That's true.
Maybe the doctor had something about him that they couldn't.
Well, he's definitely a threat.
See how we're like filling in the gaps, and not in a fun way, not in like a Sixth Sense M. Night Shyamalan way.
Yeah, right. It's not like is the top spinning and is he still in the dream kind of
No,
way.
this is like how does this make sense? And I understand how your 14-year-old minds can watch this and be moved. I'd be moved by it too, and scared. But watching this for the first time at 41, literally, I can count you down by the 90 minute mark. Once we got into once Weir gets possessed, is where I'm like,
this is the first time I watched the movie. This is the first time I've seen the movie and I didn't associate the ship going to. I've always associated the ship going to hell specifically because that's what they keep kind of echoing. But this is the first time I've seen the movie where I registered it different. Like they really don't commit to it. They hint at it, but they don't commit to that, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's far more ambiguous. What was the point I was trying to make?
I would have preferred them keep it creepy and figure it out than make it a monster movie. Because that one, if Weird gets possessed, it becomes a monster movie. Run away from Jason. Run away from Freddy. We got to stay away from this guy chasing us. That felt a little
That's
cheap.
interesting because it definitely shifts from this ship entity to a very specific point of origin.
Because before Weird gets possessed, you're watching this shit play on their guilt, man. You're a mom and you're not there for your kid, and the kid obviously got hurt. It might get taken away from you. So the ship is playing with your mind. You left someone to die in your crew as a captain. Ship is playing with your mind, and we like leave all of that awesome psychological thriller part away, and then we get into like a monster movie of just that, like we throw it away.
I gotta
Yeah.
say, one of the most disturbing memories I have as a kid watching a movie was this movie when he literally rips his own eyes out. As a kid seeing that, it always stuck with me as like, whoosh. So I think you know, obviously age plays a huge factor, how we digest films and remember films and what they mean to us, and also films often have a particular validity for when they're coming out and what they're doing. You know, now you're right. It's kind of like watching this film out of context of cinema 16 years later, it feels dated and ripped off. But I don't recall that feeling
It
when
flopped.
I
Remember, it flopped in the box office, so a lot of people didn't like it and didn't go to see it. And I
yeah, but
feel like
so did Ant-Man.
no, I don't think Ant-Man flopped. I think it just got
What?
bad reviews. I don't think
Oh,
it flops. The Flash did though, but
Yeah, flat.
surprise.
like I said, I was with this movie until it threw away the psychological thriller for a monster mash. I was with it. I was intrigued. Using your own nightmares and to haunt you, and seeing the guy you left behind come back as he's on fire. I was down with that. I'm like, that is genius. And then all of a sudden, Weir comes back, chasing them through the ship on foot. I'm like,
Well, we're never
I mean,
left.
but I mean, like he's possessed, so it's like
Yeah.
it just becomes Jason. It becomes
they
Friday the
just-
13th.
They just recreated them.
Christian, what you doing in here? Sorry,
Don't
my
ask me
son.
questions.
Son just popped in.
It's like, don't ask me
Don't
questions.
ask me no questions. So, do I think it holds up? No. Do I think parts of it are amazing? Performances, yes. First half is very intriguing.
Well,
And,
what's
I don't watch the
what-
effects.
what's the point of this film is to the point of horror films is to get you involved,
Scared.
emotionally involved and affected.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't
But
feel
you can
like
do
that.
that. You can do that with sound. A bad horror movie can still get a jump scare out of you.
I'm not talking about jump scares are the cheapest of scares to me.
I thought that the thing that could have scared me the most, they got out of it. Guilt,
Yeah, if they would have
twisting your
kept in it,
mind.
because when Weird got possessed, I feel like the movie kind of picked up pace to get to the end.
It stopped being scary.
Yeah. So
It's not
they
being
could
scary.
they could have played a little bit more into that psychological messing with hallucinations and whatnot, and like hallucinations that are like real that can affect you.
Mm-hmm. And this thing is coming at you, and you catch it, and you start stabbing, and you kill it to death. All of a sudden, you come to, and you just killed your crew member. You know,
Right.
like
'Cause that's what happened. That's what happened to Weir when he got his eyes. His wife, the image of his wife taking his eyes out ends up being him doing it. So
yeah, that stuff is that like they gave up on that. The end wasn't scary. It was action packed.
You kind of I see what you're saying. It definitely shifts. There's a shift.
It shifts like we got to end this movie.
You feel like
Yeah.
okay. Yeah.
And maybe, like I said, there's 30 minutes of footage, so maybe it wasn't as hit the gas. It might have been more. But that's not the
there
cut
could have
we
been a
got.
little more. And and then Cooper coming back. I mean, okay, if you say so. I liked him, but he should have died. He should have been floating out there. in the expanses of space. All right.
I was like, that's it. How did you angle yourself? You just shot yourself in a direction and hope for the
You know,
yeah.
and then managed to get to the ship, going into the atmosphere of a planet. I don't know. I don't know. But all right, I like you though, Cooper. Good on you.
So yeah, I don't think it holds up, but it's still a fun watch. Especially if you're into horror. But I don't think it holds up.
I mean, I enjoy it.
Yeah.
Whether it holds up or not, I still enjoy it.
Does it hold
Yes,
up to you?
it holds up to me.
No, do you think it holds up? You can enjoy it, you can like it.
Mm.
It holding up doesn't mean it wasn't good. It just means that someone watching it right now, even if it had up to date effects, there'll be parts of the story we've gotten more sophisticated as audience members
I
when it
mean,
comes to stories.
hopefully, if they got updated effects, they would update the story and maybe throw them extra 30 minutes in there. Maybe them 30 minutes would actually like clarify some things.
Like, I feel like a movie like this can't come out post Nolan and be taken seriously. Like, you can't do some sci-fi psychological thriller after Christopher Nolan made his movies and like do this. You just need to make it a slasher in space. Don't try to make it some.
Well, it kind of turns into a slasher in space, so that's the problem with it.
Yeah. But Jack, do you think it holds? Like, you can say it doesn't hold up and still say it's a dope
No, I
film.
think it does hold up. I think the CGI definitely does not hold up. I think the texture of the film and the performance of the film hold up, and the kernel of the story holds up enough where it is still engaging. And if you're susceptible to horror films and you're average moviegoer, I think you watch this film and you still.
You said Batman '89 doesn't hold up,
Batman
and
89
this
does not.
holds up, and this holds up.
It's different. It's different. It's very different. Totally different. Also, listen, horror films and comedy films are like the one genre where what works is often different. They're also the only genre you can get away without casting celebrities and still walk away with a very successful film.
This film wasn't
It
successful.
wasn't. Yeah.
Because it was.
Neither was Princess Bride.
Princess Bride's amazing.
It did not do well in the box office. They didn't know how to market the
Ain't
film.
no one talking about Event Horizon except Rich.
Yeah, they are. What are you talking about? There are whole Reddits about this.
Well, Batman 1966 thinks it's a great film.
You probably saw.
I think people who experience this film
before their frontal lobe was developed.
Probably enjoy this film.
What are you trying to say?
That before you're 25, you haven't developed all your brain yet, so you go see these things with your childlike mind. Look, I said this movie, I enjoyed most of it. Will I say it holds up if I updated all the effects and all that stuff and placed it right now in 2023? Will I go into that movie theater happy? Hell
probably
no.
worse. It would actually probably be worse if it was updated.
Jeffrey, we're talking about
Event
Horizon. And we're talking whether
Sam
it holds
Neill
up.
And Lawrence Fishburne.
Lawrence Fishburne gave a performance of it,
Killed it, man.
And it was so straight and so grounded and so just matter of fact. And I'm like, this should get boring, but it never does. It's so charismatic. Well, all the actors were great. Well, that's that. Yeah.
Well, are we gonna rank it?
Are we ranking it? Yeah, sure. Why not? Let's rank it.
This film is a solid 6.5. It's enjoyable. The texture's good. The story is good enough to be engaged. I wouldn't watch the trailer.
Jeffrey, this movie came out in 1997.
Those 1990 trailers never hold up. For the record,
they don't.
Almost never. The trailers,
and that might have been part of the reason why it flopped. It probably was marketed as something else.
I'm sure, right? But I think the film holds up as a good space horror film. No question.
I will also give it a 6, a solid 6. All right. You know, it's just good enough for me. And yes, it started out strong for me. Once again, started out strong. The second half, meh, but they wrapped it up how they wrapped it up. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
it's a good watch. It's a good watch. You may not be impressed by the effects, but the
But that's
model of the
fine. It's
ships
not
and the
97.
scenery and the texture was good.
You have to go in giving grace to effects anytime you watch any. Like you can't go if that's your standard, then don't watch anything before the year
But the
Yeah.
practical
2019.
effects hold up. That's what I'm getting at.
Price
Like,
of, I mean,
practical effects
and
hold
even
up.
some of the CGI. Like I said, the ship in space, I didn't hate it.
Yeah.
I didn't
Yeah.
hate the ship in space.
The story breaks down a little bit at the end, but
That's my issue.
it's the end, and we're trying to move on to the next thing.
Are we rich? Is that
At
how you
least they
feel?
don't labor it. At least they don't labor it. Probably
They're
getting
in,
rid of that 30 minutes was
they're in and out. I'm giving this a solid 5, man. A 5.
Okay.
Solid 5. It was an enjoyable watch, but in any horror genre, you have to establish the rules. I got to
Okay.
know what the bad guy wants. And by the end, I was left feeling like, oh,
Okay.
like you stopped scaring me and you went for gore.
Yeah, it changes
Yeah.
at the end. That's true. So 6.55. So collectively, we give this thing a 5.8. So we'll say 6. So Event Horizon. If you guys are, in the
Oh, my
October,
bad. I'm giving this a 4.5.
Oh wow. Okay.
Dude,
What?
okay, and this is my reason why. Wonderful performance, enjoyable movie, but it still came out in 1997, right? So you
Mm.
still had several Alien movies that came out. You had Predator movies that came out. You had Outer Limits. You still had a bunch of movies that came out before you that set a precedence that kind of showed you how to do it.
But they
And
weren't
this,
going after like a creature feature. They were going
but
like
they
more
were
psychological horror.
they were
It
both.
kind of turned into that at the end.
But then you
Yes.
still had The Shining. You still had there was too many movies before this one for them to just drop the ball at the halfway point. Like if this movie came out in 1987 and was like the first of its kind, I say a 7 easily. The fact that it had all these other sci-fi horror movies before it, or just horror thrillers before it, I'm like, just follow that blueprint.
all right. So
Nah.
the adjusted score is closer to a 5.6. So we'll say a 5.5 Event Horizon. It's a little less. But
5.5.
if you're in the Halloween spirit and you're looking for a film, I think it's one worth sampling. You got a whole month of
Check it
movies.
out. Oh yes, check it out. Put that on your list, and you know what? Just keep it on your list along with 13 Ghosts. You're
Oh
gonna
boy.
love it. You're gonna love it.
Are they
Wait.
The
The slogan. Hang on. I did look at the trailer for 13 Ghosts. I think I
Yeah.
remember seeing this movie, but the
Of course you
slogan
did.
in the movie was, "If you think it's bad getting trapped in a house with a ghost, imagine 13."
The
Go.
90s was like
Don't
awful.
yeah, don't
The
worry about the
90s,
slogans. All right. The movie
man.
itself, great stuff. Okay. Listen.
Rich, have you watched that movie Sober?
Yes, I
And
have.
no, sober. Wait, sober and wide awake.
In
Yes,
the last 10
sober
years.
wide awake from beginning to end, like maybe like a few weeks ago. What are we talking about? Multiple times.
Why did you put on 13 Ghosts a few weeks
Because
ago?
I needed something to be playing while I was doing something, and I was like, "Oh, look at 13 Ghosts." It is, yeah. What are we talking about? Listen, man.
Wow.
So that's Event Horizon. Go check it out. As long as also 13 Ghosts, put it on your list. Listen, do we have any recommendations?
We do have some recommendations. A
Recommendation.
big thing about Event Horizon is it took the possessed by a bad demonic entity trope. And we have a lot of really cool movies that do that as well. Obviously, Exorcist is kind of like the benchmark for demon possession movies. I
Yeah.
also thought the Amityville horror movie, the Amityville movie was great. Specifically, I guess the more recent one with Ryan Reynolds was great.
Okay.
There's something about seeing a leading man who looks like he can protect his family being the one who is becoming possessed.
Right.
Also, dude, one of the most scariest movies I've seen that dealt with possession. Yo, what's the name of that movie? It had like, well, Poltergeist is on the list, obviously. No, Poltergeist isn't as much possession.
Not as much, but there was this one scene when he drinks the worm out of the tequila.
Yes.
Which freaked me out as a kid because I was looking at every one of my drinks, making sure there was nothing at the bottom of it.
And then he barfed out that thing and it swallowed across it. That messed me up. No, Paranormal Activity. That's it. Paranormal Activity.
Yeah.
I thought was.
I think all of them. They all got possessed at some point.
But that what's wrong, Jack?
I'm listening.
You didn't like Paranormal Activity?
Oh boy, you said what?
Paranormal Activity.
Okay.
What?
Jack, you can't spend an hour rooting for a movie that flopped at the box office and poo-poo on the one that actually changed the entire
Right. You know,
game.
Paranormal Activity had a wonderful marketing strategy. I give them that.
It spawned like 4 sequels.
Because the first one popped off.
And it was strange at the end of that movie to see her just get up out of bed and chuck her husband into the camera. Was like, that seemed real. But yeah, those are my demonic possession type recommendations if you're into that stuff.
All right.
Yeah.
But
Great recommendations.
I wouldn't really categorize this film as a demonic possession film. That's not really.
Weir literally gets possessed and tries to kill everybody.
He does that. That's true at the end, the very end.
The climax.
That's true.
Giggity.
That's true. But this film is far more like it's what Batman said. It's creepy.
It is, but then it stops, and because you're holding on to the part of the film you're holding on to, like the other 30 minutes doesn't exist. It does.
Yeah, the other 30 minutes are thrown out the window once he starts.
It's like the end of the film I watched is when he rips his eyes out.
Yeah, once that happens, he was pretty much grabbing people by the neck and chucking them across the ship.
Right, the whole thing changes at that point.
Into demon possession. I want to, Jeffrey. I would say it's weird. It's not supernatural horror, but it definitely starts following the rules of supernatural horror. Event Horizon. It kind of starts off as psychological, sci-fi kind of thriller, creepy.
I mean, you could kind of say somewhat supernatural because the ship was possessed. Because that's what they're trying to say.
It was haunted.
Let's
just say it.
Yeah.
It was this ship was a ghost house.
So supernatural then. Speaking of supernatural there.
But it doesn't feel like that at first.
Because I never made that connection.
This is literally you're trapped in a haunted house in space.
Yeah.
I'm ruining Jack's whole childhood.
Interesting.
All right.
Yeah. So those are my recommendations.
Great recommendations.
We should go back and watch Big Trouble in Little China someday and talk about that one.
I'm down with that. Didn't that spawn freaking Mortal Kombat? Or at least characters for Mortal Kombat?
I think all of the main characters in that film are the main characters in Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
It also flopped in the box office.
It is a great movie. It doesn't matter.
I enjoy it. Box office, I'm just curious as to why.
Why we enjoy it so much?
No, why did it flop? Like Event Horizon, all these actors in it in the 90s. This feels like it should have been great. It feels like it hit. It feels like it makes sense.
There's too many minorities in it.
That's true. I was like, y'all gonna letting this black man be this captain? After he just beat up Tina Turner, like this guy. What? Well, what's love got to do with it? Probably came out the year before.
But yeah, listen. Thanks for rocking with us. Do us a favor. Do us a huge favor. Huge favor for us. Small little thing you need to do. Just at the bottom, hit that like, that subscribe, give us a comment, hit that bell button so you get our notifications of anything we put out. And we greatly appreciate it. Mm-hmm. But thanks for rocking with us. This was Three Brothers a Shot of Milk, looking at Event Horizon. We probably might have bored you a little bit, but it was a good time. We had a good time. Right, fellas?
And
better time than I had watching the movie.
Whatever.
And what?
Oh, come on, man! 200 episodes. Your first host. This is the big.
No, I hosted last time when it was just the both of us. It was just me and you. Yeah,
right.
it was just
Oh,
me and
Jack,
you. Everyone
that-
else caught out.
That's heartbreaking. You don't even
But I,
remember.
but I,
He
I
doesn't
consider
even remember, Rich.
those are very special episodes when it's just Rich and I. Those are the best ones.
It actually, they are pretty good. They are. No offense, Lawrence.
Get out of here.
I've heard them. Yes, they're very touching. They're a lot warmer and generous.
Anyway, thanks for rocking with us. Until next time. Am I going to do it? You know,
Yeah.
why not? Same bad time.
Same bat channel.
See you, Jeffrey.